Today we have ourselves a 208 BHS Apex Nano AZDEL Coachmen Ultralite here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. We've got a full walkthrough video tour of one of these that you will see in just a minute. But what you will also see is that there are different ways that you can configure the beds in these, and we thought we'd love you kind of see how each of these looks. And actually, if you could, folks, I would really appreciate it if in the comment section, if you could leave us a little note. How do you like this one better? Do you like it standard? Do you like it Summit? Do you like it Murphy bed? Do you like it non-Murphy bed? Because there's a whole bunch of different ways you could build this one. And basically with every single option expressed, these come in about 4,045 pounds, which is what we are seeing here. There are different types and different styles of Murphy beds out there. And here at Haylett RV, we carry so many different brands. They all bring something a little bit different and a little bit more beneficial to the table in different ways than the other. There's no one Murphy bed that's the best. It's just the one that works best for you. So the way that they're doing this here in this Apex, it does not actually increase your floor space. Because that sofa is shoved forward with their style of Murphy bed, you're not getting more walkable floor space, but you are gaining more seating space, and it doesn't block the entry door, so it works very well there. Their style of Murphy bed offers a couple key benefits. First of all, it has a completely separate storage cavity. Whether it's, you see how you've got those doors that drop down under that sofa? You've got completely separate storage under the sofa versus in the full pass-through, and that's another major benefit of this style of Murphy bed. This is a tiny camper, and storage is worth its weight in, like, literal gold, basically, in this thing. And the Coachmen's, we'll just call it the bendy bed Murphy bed that we're looking at here, it maintains a full pass-through storage cavity. So that's a huge plus in this one's thing. The other thing is, look what we're looking at. We've got that windshield. You know who else has a Murphy bed and a windshield? Rockwood, Jayco, lots of guys. And you know how many brands actually usually allow you to enjoy that front viewing window and windshield when the Murphy bed is up? Almost none of them. And that's a really key difference here. If you go with Summit Package and the Murphy bed, you actually get a greater sense of space and greater visibility of your campsite and destination because the Murphy bed isn't fold up against the wall. You might also note how that means that we're not losing the overhead storage cabinet either. I also wanted to take a second to highlight the fact that you've got household and USB plugs beside this. So whether you're using it for a daytime phone charger stand or a CPAP stand, you're going to be good to go. But what's neat is they actually did it on both sides of the bed. Here they're on the sofa side. On the other side, they're obviously on that side stand, but you do have dual sets of outlets on both sides of the bed. But there's a really key thing that comes into play when you do put the Murphy bed option into this floor plan. And again, you're going to get to see it both ways. There are advantages both ways. But when you go to the Murphy bed, not only do you have the ability to kind of convert the bed into seating space, while maintaining that windshield, as we saw, which is one of the key things. You know, normally I'm not a fan of what I call bendy beds, but this one with that front windshield, they've actually turned that into their advantage, effectively. But this does something that narrow body campers don't usually do. It maintains a full residential size 60 by 80 queen bed size. So you have a small camper, but you still maintain a larger sleeping space. And I think that, in conjunction with the windshield use during the day in a Murphy bed system, is why a lot of people have said, yeah, I kind of like it this way, though. So like I said, we kind of have it a little bit of both ways. You're about to see it the other way. And again, I'd really like to know, what do you think? Which way do you like it? You like it Murphy, non-Murphy, Summit, non-Summit? Drop us a note, and let's see what we come up with. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Of course, being on YouTube, I got to say that whole like and subscribe thing, but I think you know that already, don't you? Only 3,950 pounds, under 4,000 pounds, 208 BHS Apex Nano, Bunkhouse, AZDEL Ultralite with Summit Package, which gives you the nose cap and a whole bunch of fun little upgrades, double bunks, outside kitchen, dinette slide, a lot of things under 4,000 pounds. If you're trying to get out of a pop-up, if you're looking for your first camper, or let's say you've looked at something like a 2509S Rockwood Murphy bed and it's just too big, it's too heavy, it's too much money, whatever, You are not going to feel like you're settling. You are not going to be disappointed with what you get here. It's also a very cool offset to something like a 2306 BHS Winnebago, which does not have the outside kitchen that this one right here has. So there's a lot of similar campers, and we carry them all here at Haylett, so you can really kind of cross compare. But I think a lot of folks are going to take one of these home right here. And now, a look at the Summit package with the slide closed. You'll see a couple little variances. Now, some of the decor stuff is updated a little bit, but the Summit package, we're going to pick up that little door on the end of the bench for some easy access. There's going to be a couple little variances as we go through that I'll point out. One of the most notable, though, is that in the Summit package, we're going to include this front windshield in that nose cap. It's actually inset right into the nose, which it just really helps this little thing open up and feel not so little. Now, once again, keep in mind, there's several upgrades here, like the Summit package on this one, the Comfort package. The interior decor on the one that we have in stock, the fabric package, might be a little different. This video is here to give you an idea, not necessarily hard represent the exact one that we have on hand. Although chances are you're going to see a lot of them look just like this, but I always like to put that caveat out there just in case. So the dinette slide here offers us a comfortable four-family seater with plenty of open space here. I do want to make mention of the fact that there is a Murphy bed option available on this one, and we are a huge Murphy bed dealership here at Haylett RV. So it kind of may come as a surprise to some people that we did not put the Murphy bed in this one, and it was by strict conscious decision to do so. The main reason that we didn't do it, and it doesn't mean that it's bad, it just means that what we found is not as many people prefer this, is that it's what I call a bendy bed, which is where the mattress actually bends and folds, and it just sort of folds back and lays on top of that. Couple hiccups with the bendy bed. It doesn't really allow you a lot of opportunity to upgrade the bedding to something more comfortable. It loses storage space, and you have to make the bed sheets every morning, every night, and that kind of gets tiresome to a lot of people. So we did decide to stick with the standard fixed bed right here, but what's cool, guys, this is an 80-inch long queen bed. So this is giving us that longer sleeper, even without the Murphy thing. Now, there is a benefit. I'm trying to be fair. There is a benefit to the way that Apex does their bendy beds. It does not fold up vertically against the wall. So in the Summit package, it always maintains the daytime use of that front window, which not every Murphy bed front window RV offers, or windshield, as it were. It's technically a different thing. But you still get the daytime windshield benefit of this one with the fixed bed, but now we get the convenience of being able to upgrade to a longer bed and not have to make the bed every morning, every night. And if we, take a quick look here, guys, there is full storage below this bed once again, and you can see that we're sleeping on top of higher grade materials like plywood bed decking. They don't go chintz on this whatsoever. Now, as long as I'm standing here, I'm at a good angle to be able to see it. This does have a vaulted ceiling. I don't use fisheye lenses. I don't like to trick people. I want you to purchase from us because we've earned your trust, not because we've tricked you into buying here. We're not a hidden fee dealership for the same reasons. Full 13,500 BTU air conditioner in the Comfort package makes this thing very comfortable when you want to crank that air up. We've got all LED lighting throughout. This thing is all laminated, aluminum framed. You can see we have the dual hanging closets plus the full overhead storage. That's another thing that a traditional fold-up Murphy bed will lose, is that overhead storage. And I've always been of the belief that when it comes to storage, every ounce counts, and I don't like an ounce of space to go to waste. Now, speaking of which, over here in the dining area, you've got this big pantry closet over there, but if you look a little bit more closely, you can see that this is also going to be the area that you're going to mount a TV if you choose to add a TV to this little camper. So the Murphy bed option it'll give you a sofa to be directly facing that, but there's nothing stopping you from just sitting on the edge of the bed and using that like a sofa. This is one of the rare instances where I didn't feel Murphy was the best option. But if you disagree, I fully respect that. This is my idea. This is our idea. It's not to say that that's how everyone's idea is going to be. You want one of these with a Murphy bed? Call us. We'll build you one. No sweat. No, doesn't bother us whatsoever. Now, we're going to take a look at all the sleeping capacity here, but just to give you a quick idea, we can fold the dinette down into an additional sleeping space. So when the bunks alone aren't enough and the kiddos are going to bring friends, You can always drop the dinette down, get an extra sleeping space out of it. So what's also cool is for a family of 4, this gives us 4 separate sleeping zones. So that if you have maybe older kids or kids who just don't do well bunking up, or they're reaching the age where you want to maybe split up the boys and the girls, or all kinds of different things I've heard from folks, this one can accommodate, you know, that sort of camping arrangement. You will also find extra storage space below the seating of that dinette, and in the Summit package, it does make it easier to access that storage with a baggage door on the side of the dinette bench right here. Now, both sides of the dinette, whether it's Summit or not, you'll have these the nicer plywood bases here, along with they put the little finger pull eyelets in here, so it's not a splinter factory, because man, there's nothing more fun than getting a splinter right at the beginning of your camping trip, am I right? Now, all of the countertops and tabletops and everything are going to be a sealed edge press membrane, by the way. So they're a lot more resistant to liquid exposure. That's something that Coachmen's done in their RVs for a long time. And a look at that centralized sort of pantry, linen cabinet, whatever you need it to be, you can kind of make it a flex use space. So it can sort of become a couple different things here. But what's nice is with its centralized location, you can really sort of like, the shelf is for one thing, the shelf is for a different thing, whatever. And that's your converter box, by the way. In your house, you call that your fuse box. Now, this is one of the other things that I think makes this floor plan sing, because it gives this little camper this huge cargo storage capacity. Now, what's also neat about that is what you can do is you can back a bicycle in there and leave the handlebars sticking out and close the slides, no problem. Now, of course, if we take a look, that'll, you know, fold down into an additional sleeping space. You've got your double bunks right there. You know, so it's kind of, it's what you need it to be when you need it to be it kind of situation. Now, as we back up, if we take a look at the kitchen area right here, one of the first things I want to zero in on is the fact that we've got a full 6 cubic foot refrigerator freezer. In a little camper like this, that is a big deal. And by putting the microwave below the stovetop, that left the overhead cabinet space wide open for nothing but, you know, well, cabinets, obviously, storage. Now, some people are going to be like, wait a minute, there's no oven in this thing. You're correct. That's not the intention of this camper. We have plenty of other campers with ovens, but typically in the smaller, narrow-body campers like this, not as many people are actively going to be cranking up the heat of an oven in this little space and, you know, sweating your family out of the family camper, as it were. Speaking of which, that furnace in this little space, it'll have no trouble keeping up. So if what you're looking for is like, man, I really want one with an oven, not a problem. We got other campers here at Haylett RV. One of the other things this one does is Apexes are very good boondock campers, and that's one of the reasons that they use a split sink here. Now, to complement that, they have 30-30-30 holding tanks, 30 fresh gallon gray and or 30 gallon fresh gray and black tanks. And they split the sink here for that purpose. If you're park camping, you can use the bigger sink and gulp water because you're not using the tanks. But if you are dry camping, you want to use the tiny sink to sip water from the holding tank and, you know, just use your pump as required. Bluetooth stereo over here, a little more basic entertainment complement. But you can, you know, when you hook your phone to it, pretty much anything you can get off your phone, you can just pump through the system right here, obviously, any sort of audio entertainment, as it were. And short of that, one thing I want to hit on in the kitchen here. Common question people see in these Apexes, someone says there's no stovetop hood. These idiots really screwed up right there. They didn't. They just did something that you're not used to looking for. We're used to seeing a hood over a stovetop. I get it. I know that that's what's more comfortable and organic. But if we take a look up here, you see that they include a power ceiling vent with fan. Well, pardon me, it's a crank open vent with a power fan. Let me rephrase it that way. So this will actively exhaust heat out of the RV. Because the RV has a vaulted roof, the heat will naturally gather at the top of the RV anyway. So this is a better place to suck that heat out. Also, this is doubling as a skylight. So we're kind of getting a 2-for-1 benefit out of this thing right here. And over here in the bathroom space, it's simple but effective. It does what it needs to do, and it does it very well. We've got the sealed edge counters here with those ground fault protected outlets, and a real medicine cabinet, not just a mirror slapped against the wall. Another power vent fan, a skylight above the tub shower combo, and decent legroom in front of a foot flush stool. Just, again, it's a simple bathroom complement, but it's effective. It does what it needs to do. Now between the nose cap with that inset windshield from the Summit package, and just the upgraded decal package overall at the, you know, the generational changeover at the time of this filming, this is easily the best looking Apex they've ever put out. I cannot believe how good so many of these manufacturers are getting. A camper looked like a camper. They were all boring and bland and flat for so long. And then you got this thing. And if we compare it to the previous generation, I didn't think it looked bad. And obviously you can see that they're from the same family, but this is so sharp. This is so sharp. Where do I begin? Let's start right here. Pass-through compartment. We've got magnet holdbacks. Even though it's a basic, smaller, and very price-sensitive camper, it still have everything that you're going to use and see, feel, and touch every day still updated. And that's really who I think Apex is. They're fancy where they could be, but simple where they should be. Never is that more true than in the Nano series. You've got an extra wide and pretty tall baggage compartment right here, and that little switch right there will activate the LED accent lights inset into the nose cap under the windshield. But before I move along, I do want to point out the little side mount solar prep plug right there. So if you are going to boondock, which again, this is a good camper for something like that, you get one of those little portable panels, park the camper in the shade if available, you put the panel in the sun, and you know, you keep the RV cool. You can run your fans and your lights within reason. You can't just go nuts, obviously, and it depends on the sun that you're getting. Now, this is a narrow body camper. It's not a full 8 foot wide, which means it's easier to see around, less weight, less headwind, less cost, and it, because of its lighter weight, under 4,000 pounds, even as we see it, it will make this thing very easy to tow, to park. You see that the A-frame is actually integrated, which helps the body stay lower still. And sorry, I keep getting that cap looks good. I've seen these caps before, but I've never had one here in person. Put my hands on it. God bless it, that looks good. I'll quit gushing over that. My apologies. And we still have the full stone guard below to keep everything protected and looking good. Now, sometimes people say, yeah, but isn't that going to get hit by rocks? One, that's why they have the stone guard below. Most rocks are going to hit that line below. Two, that is an automotive windshield installed just like an automotive windshield. It's not a window, it's a windshield. It's a totally different thing. Occasionally, yeah, you might have a stone hit the windshield of your vehicle going down the road. It's certainly not a common everyday occurrence though, is it? 4-corner stabilizer jacks keep her nice and sturdy and sound when you are at your destination. And we've got seal gripping, leak preventing, really rough textured slide walls right here with a automatic adjusting slide system. What's kind of cool about this is when you're rolling this thing down the road, it's a jiggly wobbly earthquake with hurricane force winds outside. Well, that can fairly easily actually knock a slide out of adjustment. So what this slide's going to do is every time it opens or closes, it will auto adjust itself a little bit left, right, up, down, whatever it needs to do to come back in and out square. So it's one of those things you just don't have to mess with. Now again, basic camper, but still have a black tank flush, still have a full outside utility shower over here, still getting the job done. Little details too, like even here on their base Nano series, the Apexes are still using a little bit nicer bumper end caps, so those things don't pop and wobble out going down the road. A full spare tire. God forbid you need it. Hope you never do. Kind of like health insurance. I hope you got it if you need it. So we are all aluminum framed. We are 6-sided laminated. And that means, you know, 2 sidewalls, front, well, actually, no, I'm sorry, pardon me. Front nose cap. I don't believe that front wall is going to be laminated. I'm going to have to jump in there and double check that. Normally, though, you'd be all laminated. Oh, wait, no, you wouldn't. God bless it. I'm sorry. Too many campers. I get too many things mixed up. This is all aluminum framed, laminated, roof, sidewalls, and floor. There we go. Not front and rear walls. Good Lord, I got smoke coming out of my ears. Too many campers. Power running with LED lighting and blue LED lighting under the speakers as well. This whole thing lights up like a Christmas tree at night. And a little mini outside kitchen here. Like I said, this is kind of a baby version of a 2509S Rockwood. It's an outside kitchen offset to the 2306 Winnebago that we have here at Haylett RV, and they all do things that the others don't. They each have their cool, unique differences, advantages, and one of those more exclusive features that we're going to find here on the Apex series or any of the Coachmen lightweights is AZDEL. What is that stuff? You can see it right here in the door jamb. That's the only area right there you can see it. It's that white board. Well, this stuff is a composite resin. It's like 80% melted pop bottle, so it's recycled. Good for the environment in that regard. You know, less fumes like formaldehyde type stuff. If you're sensitive to irritants, this will be a little bit better in that regard. It's not irritant free. I'm not trying to blow smoke up anyone's backside or anything. But the point of the AZDEL stuff, guys, is that it is lighter weight and the material can't rot, mold, or mildew. And what that's doing for us right here is it's giving you more peace of mind, more longevity. God forbid something happens, like maybe you take care of this camper like nobody else ever has. You do everything right. And then the wind picks up a stick and it does something, and there is some level of leak as a result. Not even your own fault. Well, those AZDEL walls are going to give you more time to get this thing put back together without any sort of long-term irreparable damage. Every camper is the best in a different way, guys. That's why we carry, I mean, so many different brands here at Haylett RV. We've got nearly 500 campers in stock, and we will very quickly here with the way that they're coming in right now. So give us a call. Find the one that's best for you, because they're all the best in a different way. Let's find the one that's best for you. Give our guys a chance to meet you, and they will help make that happen. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.